What is up, F3 followers, wrestling fans, and members of the YWC? I'm JC Styles here with the F brand of Wrestling Entertainment here on YouTube.com with the Monday Night Raw review for December 17, 2012. Now, Raw just went off the air moments ago, and it was a very entertaining and very fun to watch Raw tonight. And if you missed out, it was a shame that you missed out on such an entertaining Raw. There was a lot of fallout from last night's TLC. Still no questions answered on why AJ turned on John Cena last night. There was a segment where we might have gotten a hint at why, but with that being said, I'm going to get right into it. The highlights of tonight's Raw, I will have to say there was a few big returns that we haven't seen in a while, and I would say a real while. And then the lowlights were that the Raw seemed kind of rushed tonight. They didn't really give enough time between the matches and the presentations of the awards. You would finish the match, and the next thing you know, the music would hit for someone else to come out and present the award. It was just a really rushed Raw, and we didn't get enough time for the main event. But with that being said, we start off the show with Rey Mysterio coming down to the ring, and we see a shot of the commentators talking about the WWE app and how you can vote on tonight's Slammy Award nominations, and we get in to see a really good show between Sandow and Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio picking up the win. We then move on to the first Slammy Award of the night. Was Tell Me I Didn't Just See That. And it was some of the most shocking moments in 2012. Kofi Kingston won tonight with him walking on his hands at the Royal Rumble when he was thrown over the top rope. He walked on his hands and got back into the ring. We then see Boogeyman come back and eat the worms and entertain the crowd for a couple minutes during the commercial break. Then we move into Divas action where Caitlyn gets revenge over Eve for costing her a #1 contendership last night at the TLC pay-per-view in the pre-show, the Santa Little Helpers Battle Royal. We then move into the next Slammy nominee. We move into the New Age Outlaws. Badass Billy Gunn and Road Dogg come out, and they announced the comeback of the year. And there was several good comebacks of the year. You had Brock Lesnar, you had a couple of others, and then you had the comeback of Jerry the King Lawler from his heart attack just a few months back, and he actually won the award, and it was really good to see that the fans voted for that over someone else, because this was a very very heartfelt win for Jerry, and I know he thanks the fans for supporting him through everything. We then see Kofi defeat Tensai. Now this was one of the matches that I think we could have did without. It wasn't that long of a match. It was like a minute or two match. Tensai, just tries to overpower Kofi, and Kofi gets one good reversal, and boom, trouble in paradise. But this led up to furthering the feud between Kofi and Wade when Wade Barrett comes out post-match and attacks Kofi. It also sets up later in the night a nominee presentation by Tensai and Santino. We then see Vicky Guerrero come out and announce the nominees for Kiss of the Year. It was Kiss of the Year featuring AJ and Daniel Bryan, AJ and CM Punk, AJ and John Cena, and I think there was one more other, and I just don't remember the fourth one. But AJ and John Cena won. Then Vicky come out, and they presented her the award. They exchanged words back and forth, and just as they're about to fight and go at it, Ziggler comes out, and they exchange words a little bit, and then you see AJ gets on the mic and she says, if you think this was Kiss of the Year, well, this is the most shocking Kiss of the Year. And she basically grapevines Dolph Ziggler and jumps on him and just starts making out right in front of Vicky. And then this also gives a little turmoil between Vicky and Ziggler later in the night as well. We then see the Great Khali defeat David Otunga, another match that didn't really fit in tonight's show. They probably could have given this a little more time towards the main event. Then they were teasing a big return special guest presenter, and we come back, and it's the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Yes, the Nature Boy Ric Flair is back in the WWE. He presents the Superstar of the Year, and there were several Superstars of the Year. You had John Cena, you had Ryback, you had several others, and John Cena, lo and behold, wound up picking up the Slammy. Then comes out and talks about, how being Superstar of the Year is hustle, loyalty, and respect, and how that his presenter deserves this award more than he does. Now, I don't know if, if you want to read between the lines, I kind of got that, kind of Cena was like, didn't really want to accept the award, so he kind of passed it off to Ric Flair, but that's just my opinion and my thoughts. We then go into another filler match, Brodus Clay versus JTG. Again, another match that I don't think fit in tonight's show. They could have given this a little more time towards the main event. Maybe even given it more time to a match earlier in the night, but like the Kofi Kingston and Tensai match, or maybe the Ryback match later in the night. But we see Brodus Clay defeat JTG. We then bring out Santino and Tensai for the LOL moment of the year. And we see Tensai come out and he trips and falls. And he has like an ice pack ace bandage to his head. And we see them announce the nominees. And The Rock winds up winning for his skit that he did pre-WrestleMania 28 earlier this year, where he's on the bridge and he's throwing the John Cena merchandise off the bridge. Then we see Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes. We see Cody Rhodes pick up the win over Sin Cara, which was a very good match. Again, I give a lot of credit to these guys that just went through that tables match last night. Sin Cara got it, kind of tweaked his knee a little bit last night during the segment, during that match where they pinned his leg between the steel steps and the turnbuckle. And it was cool to see Sin Cara out there and actually, still wrestling. We then go into Zack, Ryder, and Layla coming out for the hashtag of the year, which was given to Ryback for hashtag Feed Me More. We then see a skit between Show comes out with the steel chair, and he talks about how a lot of people said that he wasn't going to walk out of last night's match with the championship. Then Sheamus comes out to shake and congratulate Big Show for his win last night, and how, they've been having their war over the last several months, and he was giving Show honest credit, and he wasn't being a wise guy about it or anything like that. There was no cheap insult or a cheap way to get a bro kick and knock him out. But then as Sheamus walks away, Big Show insults him, sets Sheamus off. Sheamus attacks Big Show, wears him out, then hits him with a bro kick. Then we see Ziggler come running out to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and lo and behold, Cena comes out to screw Dolph Ziggler. And at that point, I was kind of disappointed because I wanted to see Ziggler cash in. So if they're starting to plan on Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase, I could see him possibly cashing it in maybe tomorrow night on the Super SmackDown Live. Then we go into the next match, which another match that didn't really fit in tonight's show. The three-man band, Heath, Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal versus Alberto Del Rio, Miz, and ECW legend Tommy Dreamer came back, and we saw them pick up the win over the 3MB. Now, I like the fact is that they're starting to, cement Alberto Del Rio as a face, and, they're trying to give him somewhat of a face push, and, have him become a good guy teaming with The Miz, who's right now is an in-betweener, because he never really cemented himself as being a heel or a face when he came back. It's always good to see an ECW legend like Tommy Dreamer come back. He had a very good showing, and I think at one point he got You Still Got It chant, which was very interesting to see. Good thing to see Tommy back. We then see Sheamus come out after this match and present Newcomer of the Year. The nominees were Antonio Cesaro, Ryback, and numerous other guys. And we see Ryback pick up the win. This is the second Slammy he won tonight. And it was just a really overall good night for Ryback. We see Antonio Cesaro versus Ryback. Now, I felt I was cheated in this match. That's how I feel. I felt I was kind of cheating a little bit because it was almost like it was like a teaser. It was just a taste of what could come at a later date, at like a pay-per-view. And, Antonio Cesaro is a current reigning and defending United States champion. He's a heel, but he's been winning his matches clean, and as a United States champion, I tip my hat off to him. He's also got an all-around great physique and great in-ring awareness and paralysis, and it was just really great to see these guys maybe just for a couple minutes square off. It was a lot of back-and-forth action, I have to say. I want to see what Ryback can do when the title is on the line if they decide to give it to him. Cesaro actually grabbed his belt and tucked his tail between his legs and ran off, and Ryback won by countout. We then see Mean Gene, Steamboat, and Jim Ross come out and present the final award of the year, match of the year. And we saw a lot of the nominees were The Rock versus John Cena at WrestleMania 28, The End of an Era, Undertaker versus Triple H at WrestleMania 28, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena from Extreme Rules, and Sheamus versus Big Show from Hell in the Cell. And if you're wondering who won, hands down, it was the End of an Era match. I thought it was going to be a toss-up between either that match or The Rock versus John Cena. But we see Triple H come out sporting a new hairdo, shaved his head a little bit. He's got like a military buzz cut going, and talked and said, and the key thing about this promo he cut said that you have not seen the last of the Undertaker, and it was $1 million question floating around out there if Undertaker would be back, and I guess that was kind of our answer that we will see Undertaker back at WrestleMania. We then go into the last match of the night, AJ and Ziggler to team up against Cena and Vicky. Now this match wasn't even a match. We see we see AJ and Vicky kind of scrap it out a little bit. Then AJ cops an attitude and like storms off. Then Vicky's out, and then Vicky storms off. And then we see John Cena and Ziggler go head to head for a couple minutes. Then we see AJ come out with NXT rookie Big E Langston. Now this guy is a big guy. At first I thought it was Monty Brown, the alpha male, or Marcus Corvam. But this guy looks like he's going to be a force to reckon with, and maybe we'll see him in later Raws, maybe setting up something with John Cena. Now, I'm wondering what they're planning on doing with John Cena since he's been on such a humongous losing streak this year. I mean, he lost against The Rock. He lost Money in the Bank. He lost against CM Punk at SummerSlam. It's just, I'm curious to see what they're really going to do, what they're going to do at the beginning of the year to push John Cena back through this rut. Guys, with that being said, please leave your comments in the comment box below. Let me know your thoughts and what you thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. With that being said, please check out the official website of the Effin brand at FightNationWrestling.com and all the channels that make up the Effin brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com. With that being said, I'm JC Styles, and we'll catch you later.